Okay, YouTube, today's video we're going to look at Ableton. And specifically we're going to look at removing and adding Midi and return tracks. We'll show you how to look at the arrangement view versus the mixer view. I'll talk about how to solo tracks, how to pan tracks, change the volume, rename them. I'll show you how to create return tracks and to add audio devices to those. And we'll go through how to do some basic automation. So we'll talk about volume automation. We'll talk about MIDI clip creation and then changing the piano roll scale and adjusting the piano roll height and width. So I've already added some tracks here and renamed them. So we have a MIDI track that's a renamed bass. We have 3 audio tracks: guitar, piano, and drums. So I'm going to create an audio track by right-clicking here and clicking Insert Audio Track. So by default it's just called audio. We have a channel number or a track number here, 5. We'll right-click here and we can either use a shortcut, Command R on Mac, or just click rename, and let's see, we have bass, guitar, piano, drums. We're missing, let's say, synthesizer, or we can even do vocals. Okay, so we've added 2 audio tracks. If we want to add a MIDI track, instead, let's see if we create this synthesizer track instead of as an audio track, as a MIDI track. So to remove audio tracks, right click, delete, or you can just highlight it and click delete. And we'll re-add it by going and right clicking, insert MIDI track here, Command R, and we'll name it synth. Okay, this is what's called our arrangement view. We can look at our mixer view in the top right corner here by clicking on these 3 vertical bars. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks, but we can see them in a vertical format. We can do things here like change volume, we can pan, we can turn them off, we can solo them, we can arm for recording, etc. For most of what I do, I just use arrangement view in Ableton. So we'll look at how to pan tracks here. So on the far right, it's kind of hard to see, but we have a little box that has a C for center. And if we click on it and drag down, we've dragged our track to pan all the way to the left. And 50 to the left and 50 to the right is 100 total. And so the values are relative to the stereo image that you want your track to occupy. So if we had our 2 tracks, we had bass and guitar here. This is not what I would normally do, but we would hear bass slightly in our left ear and guitar on our right if we were wearing headphones. Or if we had 2 speakers, the same would be true. Okay, so now we can also just click on these and hit 0 and enter, and we've picked 0 as our number. Goes back to C. We can pick 10, enter, and now it's 10R, and then I believe a negative value would put it towards the left. There we go. Okay. So we can also change volume here. If we go back to our mixer, we should see -4.4 on the guitar track right here. And if I move it even further down, you'll see that Oops, right here. There we go. We'll just see that continue to move down. So that's what that does. Let's look at soloing from the arrangement view. Just click S here, and now we're soloing. You can solo multiple tracks by holding Command, clicking S, and now we have all the tracks playing except for our bass track. An easy way to get out of having multiple tracks soloed is just click solo, and now everything's unsoloed. Okay, moving along. Let's do some basic volume automation. I'll show you the automation in Ableton is set by clicking on this sort of line with two arrows next to it. It's just a line with dots. So we'll create points by left clicking here. By default, Ableton is already showing you the automation line for volume. So right now we have our volume set over here, and we can see a little dot has shown up on our volume track. That's telling you that you've engaged automation on that particular node. Now, if I were to place this dot down here, what we would see is instead of having to manually move volume as we play back, we'll see our value change on the right as this line moves. So it should dip all the way down to -28 and then start heading back up to -6.9. And you can automate anything in Ableton. It gets pretty complex, but I'm keeping it simple as it's sort of an intro tutorial today. So let's go to Midi clip creation. We'll get out of volume automation mode by clicking on this box right here. Automation mode, not volume automation mode. So let's go to Midi clip creation. Yeah. Alright, so we've already talked about how to create a Midi track. Let's create a Midi clip in our bass track. Highlight a section here in our arrangement view, and we can right click for most things, and we'll just look for insert empty Midi clip. This is our Midi editor here. You can see on the left there's a vertical piano roll, a bunch of stuff here you don't have to pay attention to right now. The only thing I'll talk about is scale, which is important. But the idea is when you select this clip, you can draw notes in this clip and have Ableton play back those MIDI notes as your song plays from left to right. So let's start populating with notes. But first, it's kind of hard to see this with this grid. So if we were to start engaging draw mode, the shortcut is B. In the top right, you'll see there's a little pen icon. Click on that. And it's kind of difficult to draw notes right now. Right? They're hard to see. But we can help ourselves out by right clicking. We'll find fixed grid. Right now it's set to 16th notes, and for a bass track 16th notes might be pretty difficult, and in general it's hard to draw 16th notes. So we'll move to quarter notes. Those are a little bit easier. You can see our grid has changed now. 1, 2, 3, 4 per bar. So we can even zoom in on a Mac. I'm just gonna zoom in with my touchpad, but you could probably on a PC use your wheel or something. You can see it even better. So now we can draw notes much easier. But say that this height is still a little bit hard for you to see and differentiate between placing notes. What we'll do is change the vertical height of the piano roll by finding this little space right here, left clicking, and dragging to the right. Okay, so now the notes are a lot easier to see in place. So, what scale are we in? On the left here, we see scale, and I've set it to G minor. You can select the key here, so let's go to A, and the scale, so let's say we want A Dorian. Now all of these horizontal purple lines are showing you which note on the piano roll is in the scale of A Dorian, and the gray lines are notes that are not diatonic, or notes that are not in A Dorian. So if we were to start at A2, or our root, we can go down to A1, and if we just did this all the way up to our octave, this would play the A Dorian scale. Say we switched our scale to D major. Well, there's some notes in D major. Actually, there is only one note in D major that isn't an A Dorian, and that's C. And Ableton is telling you this by showing you that C is in a grayed out space, and what we really want is C sharp. So how do we move these? Well, we'll have to get out of draw mode, and now we just select our note, and we can either drag it by left clicking, or while it's selected, use our arrow keys up and down, and left and right. So now our C is a C sharp, and we have all of our notes in the A Dorian scale. Okay, so that was a pretty quick walkthrough on some basic things that I use a lot in my day-to-day for music production, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'm looking to grow this channel as an educational tool for y'all. Alright, have a good day.